Hello and welcome to this edition of Inside 11Alive News Investigates. I'm Aisha Howard. Right now, we are bringing you an investigation that might make you think twice before you buy some of those secondhand items, especially if you're a parent. We're talking about baby products that are still being sold online, even when they're deemed dangerous. 11Alive's investigative consumer reporter Liza Lucas shows us why some items listed for sale aren't always safe, why this has become such a major concern for federal regulators, and what families need to know to protect their most vulnerable.
Hi, Mama. Oh, yeah?
The smallest among us
Stroller, car seat, diapers.
Need a lot of stuff. Maureen Sanchez tries to keep it minimal.
Which then led to me later being like, oh, actually, I think we'd benefit from a swing or something like that, which then my instinct was to go on Facebook Marketplace. Your instinct isn't like, let me see if it's recalled.
Every week, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, or CPSC, issues recalls for defective or hazardous baby and kids products. Courtney Griffin with the Consumer Federation of America knows the stakes.
When the CPSC recalls a product or issues a unilateral safety warning, those products have often been linked to either a serious injury or a death.
It's illegal to sell recalled products, but 11Alive News Investigates discovered they pop up for resale again and again.
If consumers are unaware that that's going on, that's exposing so many children to potentially dangerous products.
Over the past month, we routinely found recalled baby products across multiple sites, like the Boppy Newborn Lounger, recalled 3 years ago due to suffocation risk and reports of infant deaths.
I bought this one online for only $24.
In 2024, a CPSC team submitted nearly 40,000 takedown requests for recalled and banned baby items on online platforms.
It's actually pretty challenging at the current state for the U.S. government to hold online marketplaces accountable for the recalled products that are for sale.
Since 2022, the CPSC sent letters to Meta asking the company to help prevent banned and recalled products from ever appearing for sale. In 2023, a bipartisan group of lawmakers contacted Meta and more than a dozen sites, asking about protocols to prevent post-selling recalled items.
Snugga infant swings have been recalled.
And in October, the CPSC again issued an alert after Fisher-Price recalled parts for over 2 million Snugga swings due to suffocation risk. The CPSC urged removing all recalled Snugga swings from stores and online platforms. Yet 5 months later, we found these swings in original condition for sale on sites like Facebook Marketplace. Facebook's owner Meta did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Facebook notes on its website recalled items are prohibited. Platforms like Poshmark and eBay say they have teams and special technology to monitor and remove recalled items. Even then, some products slip by.
I think the most important thing that families can do is don't assume that the products you have access to are safe.
Advocates question whether online marketplaces can do more. Maureen, too, hopes for more systems to protect what's most precious.
Asking parents to take on anything else seems hard. But then at the same time, like as parents, that's our job, is to just do what needs to be done to make sure our babies are safe.
Liza Lucas, 11Alive News Investigates.
So, Liza, this is so eye-opening because I'm watching this story like, yep, we had that item when my baby was a newborn. We had that one. These are some really popular items here. Your mama bear antennas kind of go up like, whoa, I was using that stuff. So when we talk about these two products, parents are automatically thinking, well, what else? Are there any more products you found out about?
Definitely were. I saw a lot of toys out there that had some parts recalled because they were choking hazards. I found various loungers, a lot of sleep-related products, a lot of other swings. But just to give you an idea of how we kind of zoned in on this for this story, as you mentioned, the Boppy Newborn Lounger and the Fisher-Price Snugga swings, they were incredibly popular. They were on the CPSC's radar because so many were made and sold and now are frequently sold on the secondary market. And full transparency, as you mentioned, there's little Lucy right there. I used that Boppy Newborn Lounger as a new mom myself before it was recalled. Again, these recalled items getting resold online has been an ongoing issue. Some platforms we did see have been doing a good job kind of filtering out these listings. But then this is just a little video of me scrolling through Facebook Marketplace on a Friday night. And you can see how many Boppy Loungers I found in just a few minutes. They just pop right up. So Teresa Murray is another expert I spoke with throughout reporting this story. She's actually the consumer watchdog director with the U.S. Public Interest Research Group. She's been tracking this issue for years now, and she explains more of how federal regulators monitor these listings.
What will happen is, like the Consumer Product Safety Commission, they will get an alert for this. I mean, because they have searches set up too, particularly when it comes to infant products. And whenever they get a hit that something's for sale on a platform, then they will contact that company and say, hey, take this down, please. And I think in a lot of cases they do, but that's after the fact. You know, I mean, in that time, maybe somebody else would have bought it and it'll just come back up again tomorrow. And the biggest concern is, especially with infant sleep products.
Infant sleep products, that's a huge concern. And what we learned, and as Teresa alluded to, is that there is a special safety team at the Consumer Product Safety Commission that is monitoring sites online for these illegal sales. But our experts, they also point out that this team is incredibly small, and the CPSC's budget request over the past few years, as I was researching this, they actually point out the challenge quite frequently that this team faces as online marketplaces grow exponentially. They've repeatedly asked for more help from Congress and funding to tackle this problem, Aisha.
So do you get any sense, Liza, that the people that are reselling these items kind of actually know that it's illegal and that they're recalled?
Well, so over the past month and a half, I was going through all these various sites, and sometimes I would indeed reach out to people. So it's hard to say. There are times I proactively reached out and did a little gentle, hi, did you know this was recalled a few years ago? And people would say, oh, I had no idea, thank you so much. And then other times I had one mom say, are you going to buy it or not? Ooh. So she very well knew that it was. So some people are just also wanting to make the cash. So we have to think about it. And you and I have talked about this. Babies use these items only for a short window of time. They are so expensive. And so I think it's also very plausible, and our experts agree, that a lot of people have no idea that these items have been recalled. Particularly if they weren't the initial buyer. And I want to turn back to Courtney Griffin with the Consumer Federation of America, one of our experts, because she explains how these products go from home to home throughout years.
Consumer never learns about a recall, or the recall isn't particularly attractive for consumers because they don't get a full refund, or it's just cumbersome to send back the product or send pictures or whatever. That product often will end up for sale again on an online marketplace, especially with children and infant products, because those are products that we reuse, we give to our friends, we give to our family, our neighbors. And so they stay persistently in circulation for years and years and move on to the next family without that family ever realizing that the Consumer Product Safety Commission had issued a recall on that product.
Yeah, I know we've swapped some baby items before too. The pack and play, you know, we've kind of put that back and forth.
Got our own system here at 11Alive.
We do. And so you think about it too, with things being so expensive, like you mentioned, a lot of people have that desperation to get something for a cheaper price. Moms are like, let me get this out of here. There's too much baby stuff we don't use anymore. But going back to the core of it, the obvious question, how do families protect their little ones from, using these products?
Well, I think it's important to note out that our experts make it very clear they don't think it should have to be on families to do this, but since there are gaps, as our story lays out, the experts also say it's really worth just taking a beat and doing a little bit of research, especially for products related to our babies and infant sleep. So where do you start here? Well, you want to get to know this website, saferproducts.gov. It is a database run by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. It lets you report incidents, should you have them in your house, or God forbid any injuries from products. You can also subscribe to recall alerts. I've done this, it's incredibly easy, and I found it to be super easy to follow because the pictures just come in my inbox, and that's just the easiest way I've been able to track some of these recalls, and I've seen some other products that I have since had. Now, heads up, there are also times when a business may not agree to the recall, and so the CPSC has to issue a safety warning instead. So this is a good way to be informed in those types of situations. And then, of course, if you're shopping online, which we all are, and you stumble across those listings, you want to flag them for sale, report it, and there are ways to do that on the various platforms. Sometimes it's right at the top of the screen. It's easy to find that little flag. Sometimes, unfortunately, you do have to dig through, but we've been trying to do that throughout the course of the process just to say, hey, we are finding these, so these listings get pulled, so you can be part of the solution that way.
Yeah. Like you said, you can do your part just in that simple fashion, because we know Facebook Marketplace and just these secondhand sites, they can be very, very cluttered and just packed with a lot of items. So if we all take advantage of that website too, that can be a game changer for a lot of people. I'm going to go and look at it.
Super easy. I promise. It's super easy. It's not going to add to your plate as a parent, but could also really make a difference in terms of your child's safety.
All right. Very helpful information, Liza. And we thank you for working on this very important Consumer Reports investigation for us. We know you have all the steps online on how to get parents signed up and getting that useful information to themselves, along with the full investigation as well. And we want to remind our parents out there and other viewers that you can submit a story to Liza Lucas and others on the team anytime by calling 404-873-9111 or send an email to investigates@11alive.com. We thank you for joining us for Inside 11 Alive News Investigates, and we'll see you next time.